Okay, let's open it up.
Scott, good event. Take us through the main event. Obviously, probably going to be a little controversy behind it, going forward.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would not want to be a judge on tonight's fight. It was close, I think, going into that last round. And, it's tough being a judge. And it was some the 50 to 45. I didn't know where that came from, but I thought the other two were close or on, or it could have, to me, it could have went either way. But Stots is moving forward in our tournament, fighting Patchy Mix, which is going to be an unbelievable fight. And I think you saw what Mix is made of tonight. The guy is dangerous. He's long. He's lanky. Great submission game. He's going to be a handful for anybody. So we're going to have a great finals.
I think a lot of people felt like Danny Sabatello showed that he could be a handful for a lot of people too, even though he didn't get the win. So, moving forward, obviously he's not part of the tournament now, but what kind of plans do you have for him? What kind of future do you see for him in the division after this all gets sorted out next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that let the finals happen, and then we're gonna start that division again, and we're gonna try to get the finals done as soon as we can in the first quarter, if it's possible. If not, maybe sometime in April, May. But we'd like to do it as soon as possible, and then the winner will have to fight Sergio first. But we'll have all the other guys fighting, underneath that, and Sabatello will definitely be in the mix. I mean, listen, the guy is good. He's really talented. I was impressed with his wrestling ability, and I think he controlled the ground. And he did what he had to do on the ground. I just think that what the judges saw was a striking. Maybe it swayed them a little bit to Stots' side. But again, it was a great fight. It was close, and it was Stots' night.
I know you said first quarter for doing the finals. Just looking at what you guys have in the States in the first quarter. I mean, would you potentially do that in Los Angeles on the Fedor card, or would you wait for something else?
I think really what it is we got to wait to see who's injured, who's not injured, and that's really going to determine when they fight, because we want them to be healthy, fresh, and ready to go, and not just train through injuries and having to trying to cut way through maybe too quick from this fight. But again, we're going to talk to all the management on Monday, see how everybody's feeling, and then we'll decide when we throw that fight, because our goal is to get that fight done, in the first quarter if we can.
Talk us through co-main event with Liz defending her title. Obviously, the first fight, she got a win that was dominant at the end, but she wasn't dominant leading up to that. And Juliana, had some things to say about that fight being stopped to begin with. She was an even bigger favorite this time around in the rematch, even though Liz won the first fight. But Liz looked phenomenal the way she got it done tonight.
Yeah, Juliana is, a great fighter, and she, went out there and tried her best. And even in Hawaii, people were like, the only question was, when she got stopped in Hawaii, there was like 12 seconds left. So the question was, if that 12 seconds would have continued, because she was stuck and she was taking damage. So would she still been able to win, even if if they could let the fight continue and not stopped it? So there wasn't a matter of was she stuck or was she not stuck. She was stuck and she was taking damage. I mean, I saw the video. I watched it over and over. It's just the amount of time left. So really tonight, I think, was something that Liz felt she had to prove herself, and man, she did it. I mean, to me, that was a very impressive victory. And Juliana Velasquez is a great fighter. So I think she put her will on her and just kept taking her down, pressing her and working her, and then eventually, working that submission, which came out of nowhere. I mean, I was like, wow, that's really impressed me. So, to me, that's how I saw the fight.
Liz is making a pitch now for you guys to open up a women's 135 division so she can move up there back to where she used to be. She would love to see Aulino move up there so that she wouldn't have any struggles making weight anymore, and open up that division for you guys with the two of them fighting for a title. Is that something that's even remotely in the ballpark for you guys? Has she had any conversations with you about that, or is she just having a pipe dream and there's no plan for 135 at women?
I'll tell you, we've had conversations, not with her, but internally with our fight team, about the possibility of opening up a 135 division. So there's dialogue. It's not guaranteed, but there is dialogue, and we haven't made a decision yet.
Is there a reason why you guys haven't decided to go down that road prior to now?
I'll tell you, when you think about Bellator and how many TV dates there are and how many TV slots there are, there's only so many slots. So we have 9 divisions. We felt really good about our 9 divisions, and we felt we could be strong at 45 and 25. So those are the divisions that we went with. But we might open it up. We'll see.
Scott right here. Congratulations on, I think, a fantastic night. The main event, the backstory was a lot of trash talk, especially from Danny Sabatello. You got kind of 2 sides of that. You have the one side that loves the traditional martial arts of MMA, and they don't want that respect. But then it's also a promoter's dream that he could sell a fight. So do you appreciate trash talk like that?
I'll tell you, I don't mind it, but I love it when they can back it up too, right? So these guys went out there and started talking trash early on, and built this promotion. And this is something that's very organic. This is not something we said, hey, we want a fighter to act this way or a fighter. That's just how it unfolded. And these guys definitely had some beef, before the fight. Hopefully now everything's good. They're all friends now and buddies. We'll see. I don't know, but once in a while a fight will start appearing and start building organically with the banter between the 2 fighters. So it's something that's part of the game. And what drives me crazy is if you're going to talk, then you better be able to walk the talk, right? And these guys definitely did it tonight.
The last 4 guys in the Grand Prix all have wrestling backgrounds, so you kind of see the best of wrestling when you bring in wrestlers. But then we also saw Pat Downey get knocked out in the first round. You kind of have the bad part. Does either one of the things kind of make you want to bring more wrestlers in, or maybe stay away from wrestlers?
No, I'll tell you what. To me, it's like wrestling is its own martial art. That's how I feel. Boxing is its own martial art. Jiu-jitsu is its own. And so to me, it really is who is the best, fighter, because styles make fights, that's true, but a certain style that works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. And so to me, like Patrick Mix, he's primarily a jiu-jitsu practitioner, but look at the level of expertise that he, has obtained in that. So a wrestler might think they're going to take this guy down, and then what? Then you're going to be in his wheelhouse and try. So there's going to be a lot of strategy on that fight that's going into the finals, because that to me was originally one of the weaknesses of the wrestling. Was when they came in, they fought a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, and they didn't know how to deal with it, right? Now they do. So I think a wrestler has to become a good jiu-jitsu practitioner as well, and at least know how to defend it. And then so striking comes in. This is the era of the modern fighter, and the modern fighter can do it all. And that's really what we're looking for. But I will say that, like, you saw a lot of great wrestlers here. That's a great base to have. But you could also be a great jiu-jitsu practitioner, and you could have a great, and that could be your base. But all I'm saying is the base has to expand. In order to be successful in MMA and fight at the highest level, you better have a complete bag of tricks.
I want to ask your thoughts. One of the biggest stories right now in the world of MMA, probably one of the biggest stories of the year, is what's going on with James Krause in Glory MMA and all this, and possible, commissions are changing how you can gamble on fights. The UFC has banned James Krause from their events. What's your thoughts on that? And what is Bellator doing to make sure that, either fight fixing or fight, insider information is not getting out, so, doesn't put a black eye on the sport?
Yeah, I mean, that's, to me, totally unacceptable. And, everybody has to put their foot down. And I do know that the legal department is taking a look at what's going on right now. And, they'll come out with, what they feel is maybe some changes that we might have to make. But that kind of behavior is just not acceptable, because it could ruin a lot of good things, for a lot of people that worked a lot of years to get to a certain point. It's really just can't happen in this sport. It's just unacceptable.
It looks like James Krause won't be cornering anymore. He might be selling his gym. But that said, if he wanted to corner Bellator, would you allow him right now?
The thing about cornering a fighter, that's something you'd have to ask Mike Mazzulli. Is he going to allow the guy to get a license? Because every cornerman, every fighter, every referee, every judge, any official in this building has to be licensed by the state. So if the state licenses them, then I'd have to talk to the legal internally. But I think these individuals are going to have a hard time getting licensed in different states until the investigation is complete.
Another controversial person I want to ask you about is Dillon Danis. He's fought for you a couple times. Sounds like now he's going to go to boxing. What's the relationship right now with Bellator and Mr. Danis?
Well, Dillon wants to go take this boxing fight, and I said, good luck. It's you're gonna have your hands full, young man. And
Is he currently not part of the Bellator
no,
roster
he's
anymore?
still under contract, but we've been trying to get him to fight for a long time, and he saw an opportunity here with KSI. And so I wish him luck, and it's a good deal for him. I don't want to hold that back and be that promoter. So we said, yeah, go ahead. You guys can work it out, and we're going to see what happens, in that fight.
Sorry to interrupt. My last question, we're getting close to 2023. Obviously, I'm sure you want that to be a really big year for your company. What's something new we might see or something big that you're working on that we could see next year?
Hey, it's called CBS Prime Time, February 4th. We've merged together between the Viacom properties and the CBS properties, created a new company, Paramount, and it's been about 2.5 years, and everything's aligned now to get the first date. So we're really excited about that, and we're going to put on a great card. And really, for me, it comes down to the building blocks are in place now, and the foundation is set. The quality of fighters that we have here are unbelievable. We have the best roster we've ever put together. We have an amazing staff. We have an amazing production team. We have such a great, operation going. I feel like when we got the call, we said, okay, now is the time. And I believe timing is everything. And so to me, we're not going to say no. When CBS calls, we always say yes. But I believe the timing is right, and I think it's going to be a great night for us. And think about this: Fedor is going to retire, win or lose, and I think he's gonna. He himself, is on a mission to take it to Bader. So we'll see if he can do it or not. But Fedor started his career on CBS fighting Brett Rogers back in Strikeforce in 2000 and what was it, 9 or 8 or 9. And what I mean by starting his career, I mean he was fighting here already, but it was like a pay-per-view product, and he fought in Japan. But really, what really made him popular in America, I believe, is those CBS shows that he did and the fighting for Strikeforce. And he did, I think, almost 6 million viewers the first night he fought Brett Rogers on CBS. So, to see him come full circle, and now he's going to put the gloves down, and that's going to be a really, really, I think it's going to be an emotional moment for a lot of people, because this guy's had such a long run in mixed martial arts. To me, he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. He fought, all these years, but he fought in an era where everybody fought everybody back then, and Japan had the best fighters in the world at that time. So he wasn't ducking anybody; they were all there for him to fight. So let's send him off the right way, and the broadcast on CBS is a great way to have him test himself again with a fighter at the highest level, like a Ryan Bader, and then we'll send him off properly.
Scott, so on the topic of boxing, tomorrow in Nebraska, Cris Cyborg makes her boxing debut.
Okay.
You flying out there?
No, I'm not flying out there. She did call me and tell me she's going to fight. I wished her luck. And I believe this is going to be her second fight. She had a fight in Brazil a little while ago, a month ago, 2 months ago. And she's always said she wants to try professional boxing. So she is fulfilling her dream. And when she's ready to come back to MMA, then we'll have a conversation.
Continuing on boxing for a second, I recently spoke with Steven Espinoza, and we talked about the topic of the back-to-back Bellator boxing nights here.
Mm-hmm.
And what Steven said was there's a lot of moving parts involved in doing something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one of those moving parts is Scott Coker. So, Mr. Coker, I'm asking you, what's your opinion about possibly doing those again?
I mean, really, it's about timing. And, when you talk about when the fighters are ready, is the date available? Is the next date available? Are the 2 dates back-to-back available on Showtime? There's just, like Steven is right, there's a lot of moving parts. But if we can line it up with one of their fights and we could do a back-to-back, I think it'd be great. I mean, to me, even, doing fights on the same night could be something that could happen in the future. That'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be something that, as a fan, I would love to see it, because I'm still a big boxing fan.
Cool. Just out of curiosity, people always say this person was a star of the night.
Mm.
Is there anybody from tonight's card that you were kind of wanting to see a lot more out of?
I mean, I think Liz showed us a lot tonight about her, her grit and her will and the will to win the way she won. But I tell you, after watching Patrick Mix, Patchy Mix, and watching Stots, I'm excited for that fight, man. I am really excited for that fight. That's going to be a great main event in the finals of our bantamweight tournament. Give a champion $1 million. They're going to have a lot to fight for, and I'm going to sit down and just watch it as a fan, and it's going to be amazing. So to me, that's not just one star. I think you got 2 stars here that are going to really throw it down at the finals.
Now, you talked about signing free, dealing with free agents. Have you spoken to any in particular that you'd want to mention?
We talk to everybody all the time regarding free agency.
Including Nate?
I don't want to be specific.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I'd rather not say at this point, but listen, there's not any free agents that a deal is imminent, but we are constantly in dialogue with every free agent out there, that's available to talk to.
What's up, Scott? Congratulations, last person, on yet another great event. I don't know if you spoke to this yet. I know it just happened, it just resolved, but have you given any thought to maybe a month or a city where this Stots-Sabatello or Stots mix final will take place?
I'll tell you, really, it's going to depend on when they're healthy to fight. And on Monday, we'll circle back with them because I'm sure, they might be banged up. And that's going to determine what month it goes, and then that'll determine where the fight card is because, we have several dates booked out already. And so February is already here. March is, going to be right around the corner. We have some announcements coming up for the rest of the, not the rest of the year, but definitely the first quarter coming up. So if they're ready to fight, I'd like to fight them as soon as possible. This is something that I don't want to rush it because if they're injured, we should let them rest. But if they're ready to go, we're going to be ready to go. So as soon as we can put that fight in the cage, we're going to do it.
And of course, you guys have that Rising event at the end of the month. But then up next, Bellator 290, February 4th. The top 3 fights are on CBS, top 3?
Yeah, there's going to be 3 fights on CBS.
So the one is Bader Fedor, the second one is Nemkov Romero, the third one hasn't been announced yet?
That's correct.
And then I just wanted to ask you about the last question, an intriguing bout that was announced for that card, Brennan Ward versus Saba Homasi. What prompted you guys to throw Brennan in there and give him a ranked opponent in Homasi?
I mean, this is something that was part of the plan when we brought Brennan back. And we said, we'll give you a couple of tune-up fights, and then you got to start fighting the tough guys. And this is that time. So he will be on the card. But the third slot hasn't been picked yet.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We've seen Australians doing really well in MMA at the moment. Every major promotion either has a champion or has had one recently. Have you put any thought at all into potentially going down under for a fight card? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we're in dialogue with a couple of companies right now to go there, and whether it's in 23 or maybe 24. But we have a great TV deal with our parent, one of our home networks there, and it's Channel 10, I believe, in Australia. It's owned by Paramount, so it's a great part of the family. But my understanding is the brand's growing and it's getting more popular, and eventually we'll go. And when we go, we will be looking for a couple fighters and sign a couple other people. I love going to different countries and going to different cities and different territories because you'll always find somebody you're like, oh, this guy or this girl could be really, really good for us. So and I'll tell you, my history with Australia was I went there in 97, 98 in kickboxing with some fighters, and they are some tough fighters over there, man. They're really, really tough. And so, yeah, would we go there? Would like to go there? Yes. We go there to do a big fight? Yes. And we'll go there to scout for some talent at some point.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.